Modern medical science has successfully found cures for many diseases and developed many procedures to put our bodies back together. Astrology can go a giant step further by allowing a qualified practitioner to diagnose potential weaknesses of an individual's physical or mental health, and to predict specific ailments simply by careful study of the horoscope. With this knowledge, preventative measures can be instituted at an early age to counteract certain illnesses, rather than waiting until the malady becomes evident and thus requires curative measures. India's ancient medical texts, known as Ayurveda, are inextricably intertwined with the Jyotish, the Vedic astrological texts. In olden times, all Ayurvedic doctors were also astrologers. Ayurvedic medicine provides insights on foods, herbs and general lifestyle changes to prevent and combat disease. Doctors were required to have an understanding of astrology up until several hundred years ago. In Nostradamus's time, doctors all studied medical astrology to some degree. The combination of these two sciences allowed them a complete system for diagnosis and treatment of not only diseases of the body, but of the mind. We have seen that even the 12 basic salts of homeopathy are associated and related to the 12 houses of the zodiac. Mental health can also be understood from a person's horoscope. There are many factors and planetary conjunctions that can indicate a troubled mind, neurosis, or psychosis. The psychological condition as a whole can be understood through a careful study of the birth chart. We can understand the overall physical condition, and even appearance. The future health, tendencies toward various ailments, and even one's longevity of life can be accurately foretold. Therefore, an astrologer must not only understand which planets cause disease, and the types of diseases that may manifest themselves, but what areas of the body they will affect, and when. The strength of our horoscope will indicate the strength of our body, and its ability to resist disease. There are certain yogas, or combinations of planets, which serve to give one excellent health. By the same token, there are yogas, or combinations, which can make one suffer chronically from different types of diseases. Planets affect different parts of the body that they have jurisdiction over. This means they will also have effect on specific bodily functions, as well. If the sun is afflicted, there may be a lack of energy, poor appetite, and/or digestion. The nervous system, immune system and heart may also be weak, with poor eyesight and circulation. If moon is afflicted, there may be emotional instability, anxiety attacks, and a lack of satisfaction with life. It can cause moodiness or depression and difficulty relating to others. There may be anemic conditions, dehydration, constipation, and weakness in kidneys and lungs. In women, there may be infertility or menstrual problems. Mars in a weakened condition usually causes blood disorders and low energy or no motivation. There may be excessive fear and difficulty to stand up for themselves. In men, there may be less than average sexual vitality or impotence. When Mercury is weak, there may be less intelligence or lack of skills in communication. Memory may be poor, and there may be psychological immaturity. Physically, there may be neurological disorders, tremors, insomnia, allergies, and dry skin. An affliction to Jupiter produces faithlessness and a lack of happiness. Pessimism, depression, and pitying oneself are not uncommon. There can be a lack of creativity and compassion for others. There may be low body weight and chronic disease. The glands may not function well, nor the liver or pancreas. Venus in a weakened condition may render one unaffectionate and insensitive, or unappreciative. The reproductive system will be adversely affected, as will the kidneys, and often there is infertility. There are commonly urinary tract infections or other problems. A weakness of Saturn's placement creates mental stress, agitation, and lack clarity. Bones are weak and accumulate toxicity in the body, causing it to be slow to heal with poor resistance to disease. In an extremely malefic condition, there can be paralysis, seizures, or cancers. When Rahu, north node of the moon, is weak, there can be hypersensitivity, hallucinations, anxiety, fantasies, and moodiness. Often they take drugs or other debilitating substances. Physically, it makes one susceptible to all kinds of disease, especially concerning the nervous and immune systems, and mental diseases are common. Ketu, south node of the moon, in affliction causes self-destructive habits, lack of confidence or personal insight. There can be digestion or circulation disorders, bleeding, ulcers, and difficult to diagnose diseases, as does Rahu. The signs of the zodiac also affect specific areas of the body, individually, and the houses of a chart not only rule over different areas of life, but different parts of the body, and their susceptibility to disease. Aries and the first house rule the head, brain, and eyes. Taurus and second house rule the neck. Gemini and the third house rule the shoulders, upper arms and upper chest, as well as the lungs. Cancer and the fourth house rule the chest, breasts, ribs, stomach, and elbows. Leo and the fifth house rule the mid to upper back, solar plexus, small intestine, and the heart. Virgo and the sixth house rule the middle abdomen and digestive system, the colon, and hands. Libra and the seventh house rule lower abdomen, kidneys, and internal sexual organs. They also rule the lumbar area of the spine. Scorpio and the eighth house rule the rectum, bladder, and external sexual organs. Sagittarius and the ninth house rule the lower back, hips, thighs, and arteries. Capricorn and the 10th house rule the bones and joints in general and the knees. Aquarius and the 11th house rule the calves and skin. Pisces and the 12th house rule the feet, as well as the lymphatic system. This is by no means complete, as there are innumerable combinations that can affect physical and emotional health in different ways, but it will give you an idea of how diagnosis is arrived at. It requires a very knowledgeable practitioner to correctly practice medical astrology. An astrologer must understand what is necessary not only to diagnose, but also to attain and maintain good health physically, mentally, and spiritually. Hopefully, sincere and knowledgeable practitioners of this great science will once again reinstate the value of medical astrology in the minds of people in the West, just as it is accepted and utilized to great benefit by the general populace in the East. This content was written by astrologer Howard Beckman. Please like and subscribe to Phenomenal Astrology.